Ms. Knight up on the roll call, please.
Mr. Dabney,
Present.
Mr. Fitzpatrick,
Present.
Mr. Mack,
Present.
Ms. Deitch,
Present.
Mr. Don Prespolinski,
Present.
Mr. Paul Prespolinski,
Present.
Mr. Simmons,
Present.
Ms. Jiggis,
Present.
and Ms. Tillman.
Present.
We have 9 present and no one absent.
Okay, we have a quorum. Approval of the minutes. So here are minutes from our last 3 meetings. Attorney Myers, can we do this in once, or do we need to go through each one in case there's any questions or corrections? Jim?
Yeah, you can do them all at the same time. If somebody has an objection to one of them, you'd have to do that one separately once they object.
Okay. So has everyone had a chance to look at the minutes from our April 7th regular meeting, April 13th special meeting, and May 12th special meeting?
Motion to approve. Second.
I have a motion to approve by Councilman Don Prespolinski, and a second by Simmons. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. The minutes will be approved. Are there any reports of any standing committees?
Yes. Finance Committee report. All right. Give me the go ahead.
Yes, sir. Councilman Devin. Yep.
All right. Thank you, Mr. President. All right. These are the Finance Committee minutes. June 3rd meeting we had right before council meeting. Finance Committee meeting was called to order at 4:36 p.m. by Chairman Dabney to review claims filed since our last meeting, as well as Riverboat available balance report, and to review the purchase order process. Committee members Tillman and Paul Prespolinski were present, as well as council members Fitzpatrick, Mack, Degas, Simmons, and Don Prespolinski. City Controller Yvonne Hoffmaster was in attendance, as well as City Attorney Jim Meyer. Claims reviewed tonight totaled $1,312.34 from the Riverboat Fund, and $209.55 that was also from the Riverboat Fund, but that was broken out in the form to show EFT payments, and $0 from the Boyd Development Fund, for a total docket of $1,521.89. There was further discussion regarding purchase orders and Riverboat available balance, the Riverboat available balance worksheet. After discussions were over, Councilwoman Tillman moved to recommend approval of the docket, and with a second by Councilman Dabney, the motion was approved unanimously. And on a motion made by Councilman Paul Prespolinski and a second by Councilwoman Tillman, the meeting was adjourned at 5:12 p.m. Summary of the claims are as follows. From the Riverboat Fund, we had Enterprise Rent-A-Car, $1,189.84, and the Michigan City Animal Hospital, $122.50. And Riverboat EFT payment to Comcast, $209.55. For a total from the Riverboat Fund of $1,521.89. And once again, from the Boyd Development Fund, there were no charges or no claims paid. So once again, the total claims docket for the evening, $1,521.89. And that concludes tonight's Finance Committee report.
Thank you, Councilman. Okay, so the claims docket is Riverboat Boyd Development purchase order, Riverboat $63,237 for MCPD, from Fund 2042 Riverboat claims $1,312.34, Riverboat EFT $209.55, and $0 from the Boyd Development Fund 2031. Is there a motion to approve the docket? Motion to approve by Councilman Dabney. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Paul Prespolinski. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, claims will be paid. Ms. Nyla, are there any reports of any special or select committees?
Are you gonna do the funds for the riverboat?
Mine.
Or you just did the POs?
We just did both.
Okay. I thought
Correct.
you were doing it separately.
I gave it to you.
Okay, there are no reports from special or select committees?
No.
No big deal.
Where do you jump into?
Special or select committees?
None.
There are none. Reports of any other city officers or departments?
We should talk about that tonight.
There isn't any.
During finances.
All right.
We start doing-
Paul or Don, you guys aren't muted.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. And, Ms. Nyla, are there any petitions?
There are no petitions.
Okay, thank you. Can our first resolution on first reading by title only without objection?
A resolution by title only, making recommendations, requests regarding NIPSCO's removal of coal ash from its Michigan State facility to maximize public safety and the ability to monitor the implementation of the project, express concerns, and provide input, address them. And this is introduced by Ms. Dagus, Mr. Mack, and Mr. Don Prespolinski.
Do the authors have anything to add at this time?
If I could, Council President, I would like to read the resolution in its entirety.
Oh, go ahead, Councilwoman.
Okay. Thank you. Whereas under the proposed plan provided to the Indiana Department of Environmental Management, item, the Northern Indiana Public Service Company, NIPSCO, is planning to dig up 170,600 tons of coal ash from basins at its Michigan City facility and transport it. Coal ash contains many possible toxins, including arsenic, radium, mercury, and lead, which can cause serious skin diseases to chronic breathing sicknesses. And whereas the particulate matter is a dangerous air pollutant linked to adverse respiratory and cardiovascular health effects and to higher risk of mortality from COVID-19, and whereas NIPSCO's project may put Michigan City, Jasper County, generated during the implementation of the project, and Northwest Indiana, a region adversely impacted by a legacy of environmental pollution, should not have to endure any additional exposure to airborne pollutants. And whereas although NIPSCO has advised that it intends to implement the project so as to maximize the safety and protection of the public, including by minimizing the creation of any airborne particulate matter and preventing any public exposure to it, the Common Council believes it is necessary for the city to monitor, express concern, and to provide input on the implementation of the project so as to be able to protect the health and safety and welfare of its citizens and visitors. Now, therefore, the Michigan City Common Council, as a means to protect the health, safety, and welfare of Michigan City citizens and visitors, resolves as follows. Once the closure of the Michigan City coal ash ponds begins, we request that NIPSCO work with an independent community review committee to assess the cleanup and closure process, provide the committee regular updates, and fund a technical expert who can monitor the project and provide instruction, information, and advice to the committee. Item, publish an online webpage so public comments and concerns can be readily collected during the project. Item, establish and enforce procedures that ensure the safe excavation, loading, transportation, and disposal of the coal ash, and substantial penalties for non-compliance to ensure that coal ash dust does not endanger cleanup workers or the public. Hire an experienced neutral third party to be paid for by NIPSCO to monitor the air for particulate matter near Michigan City plant and Schaefer landfill sites during excavation, transportation, and disposal of the coal ash, and make real-time data from the monitoring available to the public to protect the health and safety of the workers and the public. Item, inspects both sites regularly during the project, monitoring for and minimizing airborne dust. NIPSCO transport the coal ash in sift-proof vehicles and encapsulate it to prevent ash from escaping during transportation. NIPSCO permanently and properly secure and contain the coal ash and its residue at its Michigan City facility to prevent the possibility of future spills into Lake Michigan and Trail Creek, and submit to item a supplemental closure plan that includes addressing and providing alternatives for replacing the deteriorating sheet pile walls. Item immediately test fish, aquatic life, and sediments in Trail Creek and Lake Michigan for arsenic and other toxic and bioaccumulative coal ash contaminants with testing data made readily available to the public. If the tests reveal that fish consumption is found threatening to public health due to hazardous pollution, item should take necessary measures to alert the community. NIPSCO extend water quality monitoring to encompass off-site migration into Trail Creek and Lake Michigan. NIPSCO establish an appropriate background wells that aren't affected by coal ash to compare groundwater monitoring wells to indicate accurate pollution in the groundwater. In addition to the third-party monitor referenced in D above, the mayor create a group of city representatives, including at least 2 council members and employees and residents of the city who have knowledge of and expertise in the design and implementation of projects similar to the project to maximize public safety and eliminate the risk of pollutants becoming airborne and a risk to the health of the workers implementing the project and the public. This group to review and comment on NIPSCO's proposed plan for implementing the project, to monitor NIPSCO's implementation of the project, to comment to NIPSCO item and the public about and provide input on any concerns it has about the implementation of the project. Thank you.
Councilwoman, thank you, Councilwoman. Do you have any further comment at this time?
I do, because this is not going to be to any cost to the city. IDEM and NIPSCO are working on plans to safely do this. We just want to make sure it's transparent. People have a place to complain. People have a place to see how things are going. And really, our game fish in Lake Michigan and Trail Creek can't be put at risk, as well as our drinking water. This is why I think it is urgent to actually start now. With our high lake levels, these coal ash ponds are close to the lakefront. We do not want these spilling into the water. Thanks.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Do any other options, co-sponsors have anything to add?
Yeah, Mr. President, Councilman Don Przybylski, I think this is a proactive move by the Michigan City Council that we get out in front of this project to ensure that there is going to be no environmental issues. There is going to be no public safety issues as this coal ash is being dug, removed, transported from here down to through Porter County, Jasper County, to the landfill down there. I believe they have a landfill already built down at the Wheatfield generating station down there. But anyway, we're just getting out in front of this and being proactive and accountable to the citizens of Michigan City. And we actually working with Nancy Mollenauer and some other environmental groups that have attended meetings. I believe Councilwoman Zygasser may have attended some of the meetings. I didn't. But they asked us to write this and a sponsor and to get behind this project, and that's what we're doing. The other thing that myself and Councilwoman Zygas were able to do is apparently IDEM put the stops to the comment period, and they wouldn't extend it, another 30 days, because of the COVID-19 virus, people being able to give the chance to respond to it. And we did get that opened back up. And thanks to our state representative and state senator Karen Talion and Pat Boyd, they made contact to IDEM, and the comment period was extended another 30 days. So appreciate their efforts on that. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Mack.
Just a thank you, as they've already said, to Nancy Moldenauer Ashley Williams, and Nikki Troutman. All three of them have been keeping me in the loop. And our sustainability committee. When our committees and boards work as well as these people do to keep people like myself informed that would normally be informed, to tell the truth of some of the details of how the environment is impacted with things like this. So just a thanks to those folks for keeping us in the loop and keeping me in the loop personally. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Dabney? No? Okay. Were there any other council comments? Councilman Simmons?
I'd just like to say I wholeheartedly support this resolution.
Thank you, Councilman. Any other council comments? Councilman Deitch?
Yes, and there's thanks. Yeah. And there's more information. The website is I know it's nipsco.com/CCR, where they can find more information. Full disclosure, I filed a conflict of interest statement. I work for NiSource, which is the parent company of NIPSCO. Not saying I'm against it. I think public health and safety is very important. But they are my employer, NiSource. I no longer work for NIPSCO, but I do work for NiSource, and it is the parent company. So I just wanted to fully disclose that as well.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Are there any other council comments?
I have a question.
Councilman Paul President.
Is that remark by Mrs. Deitch, is that a disclaimer, or are you going to abstain?
Oh, I'm going to abstain.
Okay. I just wanted to find out what. Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mr. President.
Councilman Prespolinski.
Yeah, just one more comment, and that is, the resolution, I stand behind it.
Hang on, they rebooting. Councilman Prespolinski, can you hear me?
I can now.
Okay, there we go. You dropped off right when you started talking, so if you want to finish your thought. Sorry.
Yeah, real quick. This resolution has nothing to say that NIPSCO does not do a good job. I believe NIPSCO will do 100%, and IDEM is going to do 100% to make sure that this project goes off as it's supposed to, and they are committed to protecting the environment and protecting public health. Thank you. Did you hear me, Mr. President?
Yes, sir. You came through loud and clear. Loud and clear.
Hard to tell sometimes.
Yeah, I know. I didn't know if it was me or you at first. So, are there any other council comments? Having none, I just have one thing to add. I definitely want to commend Councilwoman Jigas on putting this together. I think this is a great piece of legislation to protect us going forward, to make sure that NIPSCO understands where we stand as far as what we expect of them going through this process. So with that being said, Ms. Nyla on the vote.
Is there a motion?
We have a motion.
Yeah, is there a motion to approve? Sorry.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Councilman Dabney and second by Councilman Paul Prespolinski. Ms.
We need to
Nyla.
go back to real meetings.
I know we're rusty. I am.
Yeah, I know. Ms. Deitch,
Abstain.
Mr. Don Prespolinski,
Aye.
Mr. Gene Simmons,
Aye.
Ms. Majegas,
Aye.
Mr. Paul Prespolinski,
Aye.
Ms. Tillman,
Aye.
Mr. Dabney,
Aye.
Mr. Fitzpatrick,
Aye.
and Mr. Mack.
Aye.
We have 8 in favor and 1 abstained.
Okay, thank you. The resolution passes. Ms. Nyla, First ordinance on first reading by title only without objection.
An ordinance on first reading by title only, creating section 94-79 and division 3 of chapter 94 of the Michigan City Municipal Code, adding provisions regarding traffic warning signs for children with hearing or vision impairment or disability. And this is introduced by Ms. Tillman, Mr. Simmons, and Mr. Paul Prespolinski.
Thank you.
Ms. Nyland, I'd also like to be a co-sponsor.
All right, all right.
And I would like to do the same. Councilman Dabney.
And Councilwoman Deitch.
I gotcha.
Okay. Is there anyone else want to be added or that does not want to be added? Okay. Does the authors have anything to add?
Well, with this ordinance, the reason why this came to the forefront for me is due to some calls that I received from the constituents within the 5th Ward, and that this is an oversight. We see where residents have to go out themselves and purchase unapproved, unauthorized signs for their yards, and travelers still don't adhere to those. So there's also a need for those who have any type of hearing or vision impairment or disability with the weather breaking and everything, and during this pandemic, the only outlets that a lot of the children have, and some of those children have some type of disability to where the parents want to get their child or children out for fresh air. They may be residing close to parks, and they've been noticing that we have a problem in Michigan City where drivers do not adhere to the speed limits. I enhance by implementing this, that this will show some type of caution along with the speed limits in certain areas to let the drivers know that they need to slow down, that there may be a child with some form of disability that may be trying to cross from their residence to go to the park and things of that nature. So that was one of the reasons why I decided to move forward with this, and I hope that the board would approve it.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Any other comments from the sponsors?
I just think it's the right thing to do. Anything we can do to assist the impaired, those who are impaired, we should do.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Dabney.
Yeah, Tracy and I had a discussion about this, the ordinance. I can't remember the exact date. Tracy, you can jump in on that if you want, but we talked about this, and I congratulated her on this. These are the good things that people do on the city council, and I'm also going to step back and give Councilwoman Gigas the same credit for what she did with the resolution earlier. But the new people, and you'll get tired of people referring to you as the new people. These are two of our new ones here. And they thought of something, addressed the problem, and I told her, I was really proud to see her come up with this and follow the steps and go through with the attorneys and everybody like that to get this ordinance written. I'm sure Councilwoman Gigas did the same thing with her resolution. Right now, I probably sound like old grandpa or something, but I'm proud of them for doing this. These are two good things that can help out the city. So good work, you two.
Thank you, Councilman. Any other council comments?
If I could
This is Jim. At Councilwoman Tillman's request, I prepared an amended version of this, which had some wording, section 2 in essence, deleted, and added the application form. I emailed that to everybody this afternoon, including the clerk. And Councilman Councilwoman Tillman was going to, as I understood it, make a motion to amend the ordinance by substitution. In other words, replacing the existing ordinance with the new ordinance.
Correct. Do I make that motion now?
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to amend this ordinance with the substitution, with the changes, and also to amend and add the application as Exhibit A.
Support.
Second.
Second.
There you go.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilwoman Tillman and a second by Councilman Prespolinski. Or was that Councilman Dabney or both?
Both.
I heard Deitch and myself.
Okay.
I got it.
All right. All those in favor of approving the amendment, the substitution amendment?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Now, is there a motion to approve this or this will go to second reading? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. We have any unfinished business?
We have another one.
We got another second reading.
Oh, yeah. There we go. So this was tabled at our special meeting on April 12th pending the workshop. So, Ms. Nyla, can you read this second ordinance on this first ordinance on second reading by title only?
An ordinance on second reading by title only, amending section 38-33 and section 38-34 of the municipal code to provide for emergency relief funds to the city businesses. And this is introduced by Ms. Deitch and co-sponsored by Mr. Fitzpatrick, and this was tabled at the special meeting held on April 12th.
And go ahead.
I was gonna ask Jim. Now, does someone have to move to take this off the table, or does it automatically go back because we had the workshop?
It would automatically go back because you had the workshop.
Okay. Okay. Councilwoman Deitch.
I moved the table indefinitely. Can I do that?
Yes.
We have a motion to table this ordinance indefinitely. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Simmons. Are there any objections? Okay, this
You should vote. Ask for, you don't have to be a roll call, but ask for a vote.
yeah.
All in favor?
You gotta roll.
All in favor of tabling this ordinance indefinitely? Signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, this ordinance is tabled. Unfinished business. We have none. New business. The council has one appointment to the Michigan City Revolving Loan Committee due Miss Carrie resigned from her position. Terms begin immediately and expire 10/18/20. Are there any nominations for this position? Any applicants?
I haven't received any in the clerk's office.
Okay.
I thought we did receive one about a month ago.
For the revolving loan,
She's a
I
banker.
haven't received any. Not for the revolving loan, because I believe, I'm trying to think of the one that, Carrie
I think you're right. I think you're right, Councilman Deitch. I thought she was from
She
Centier.
did. Let me find it.
from Centier,
Yes.
That was her place of employment. I know that.
because I
Yes.
reached out to Clarence for someone.
Yep. You sent us the form. You shared it with us.
Okay.
I'll look for it.
Maybe they sent it to the consul and not to the clerk's office, maybe?
No, she sent it to you. You sent it out.
It did came. Yeah.
Hold on. It's been a while.
Yeah.
There was a form submitted by Pia Parrott, filed April 28th, 2020,
Yep.
That's
for
it.
the Economic Development Corporation.
That was to go on economic development, not to go on the revolving loan. Because I think they have to
revolving
be-
loan fund, Economic Development Corp. Revolving loan fund.
Okay, is she a banker?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't, but who knows?
Okay. So see it as how everyone.
Dawn had it come out.
I'm
What did you
sorry.
say?
It was Dawn sent that one, sent with the attachment. I'm reading the chain of email here.
Okay.
And Dawn sent that out April 28th at 11:20.
Dawn wants to know where it's at.
Today, April 28th.
It was sent out to all of us on April 28th by Dawn.
Yes.
You need a motion?
If there's nomination, yes.
I would like to nominate Pia Parrott or Perot, who submitted her information to be on the revolving loan fund.
Okay, we have a nomination by Councilwoman Deitch. Is there a second?
And that was sent out April 28th, you said?
Mhm.
Was there a second by Councilman Dabney?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so we have a nomination and a second. Are there any objections to Mrs. Perot being appointed to the Economic Development Revolving Loan? Or all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, congratulations, Ms. Perot. Are there any council comments? Councilman Simmons.
I'll go.
I just want to let everyone know again that effective today, Governor Holcomb approved a $30 million federal funding available through the CARES Act. Being that we've been discussing small businesses, I want to get that out.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Dabney.
All right. It's been busy in Michigan City over this past couple of weeks, even going back a couple of months now, dealing with the COVID-19 virus, then the happenings up here in Minneapolis, and then the following protests and marches that have been happening all over the country. And I've been doing a lot of just watching and listening and looking at people's opinions when they're talking about this. So everybody seems to be coming together. It seems like there's a big, diverse group of people that are looking for some action in regards to changing in some police policies here in this country. And I agree with that. But when I'm looking at that and I'm seeing all of the people making these comments on Facebook and talking back and forth, you start to think, what's next? What's next? And us being, people who make laws here within the city and everything like that, I think it's important that we start to look at some things in terms of what can be done, through the law. And I was going through and just looking at some things and hopefully, starting on the federal level, moving down to state level, and even to the local municipalities and everything like that we start to look at things like a ban on the use of these knee holds and choke holds as an appropriate practice for police officers. We've heard some of the people talk about it in the city, where we're looking at independent boards of review when it comes, to shootings and people being killed in that by police. I think that's something that should be done federally. But I do think it's time for us to start talking about a citizens review board at some point in order to have a separate set of eyes. If you or I commit crime or we're accused of a crime, and eventually we end up going in front of a jury, of our peers that's selected an independent group of jurors. And I think something needs to be in place for police forces as well. So I'm just starting to look forward in regards to after the march, what's next. Because this is something that is really serious, but I think the momentum has been started all over the country where it's time to do something like this. Practices, and disproportionate treatment and arrests of African Americans have been going on for, since the beginning of time. So I think it's time for us to seriously consider something like that moving forward. And it has all of my support because I think the momentum is here. Seeing these big, diverse groups of people marching all in one voice and moving forward, I think it's time for us to seriously consider something like that. And I know I will be pursuing things like that. And I want to put that out there to the rest of the council. If anybody wants to talk, meet, so we can all do this together, come together to do something. But I really think it's time that we start to talk about these issues moving forward. Thank you, Mr. President.
Yeah. Thank you, Councilman. Any other council comment? Councilman Paul Prespolinski.
I just want to say to everyone that I'm very, very appalled about what happened in Minnesota to Mr. Floyd and to the rest of our community. I really is very heart-wrenching to see this go on, and I'm just telling everybody, people that know me, it's very disturbing. And I agree with Mr. Dabney that we have to look at different things to regulate what's going on. And I think that one of the things that is in my mind right now is that we talked about getting a civil review committee. Well, that has merit, but also I think that we should look at the merit ordinance, or the Police Civil Service Commission, and we might want to expand that instead of 3 members to 5 members, and where the to determine who out of the community will sit on there, because I think having 5 members on that commission will put more transparency into the whole procedure of reviewing problems also. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Deitch.
Yeah, I know. Earlier today, the LaPorte County Commissioners had some recommendations that were supported by Chief Campbell and by the Sheriff John Boyd, and it was the recommendations by President Obama's. It was the outcome from his 2015 21st Century Policing task force, and there were a couple of things I just wanted to point out. And I'll send this to everybody. It's the executive summary of that report. And it talks about the different pillars. And I think our police department and Chief Campbell just demonstrated that this past week, with everything going on, the impact that, we had peaceful protests. And I will say that the organizers did a great job in moving that forward. But also the event at the Martin Luther King at Oak Hills Park was also a success that Chief Campbell had presence at. But it talked about building trust and legitimacy, but it also talked about policy oversight, training and education, community policing, and crime reduction. And so they adopted a resolution at the county level that I think will be important for us to do the same, especially since we know our chief supports it. Another thing that I want to bring up, Councilman Simmons brought up, the applications are available for those small businesses for that $30 million. And these are for those same businesses that we talked about previously, the ones who didn't get the SBA money, the EIDL, or the PPP money. They will be eligible for this funding, and they have to have less than 50 employees. They can be independent contractors. There's a flyer for it that I can send, but they can definitely go to Back on Track Indiana and click on the link, and they can apply there. So if anyone needs assistance, I'm sure there's going to be some webinars that are going to be coming up that are going to be on Facebook Live here shortly. And that leads to a few things from the EDC. The EDC is working on, there's a tentative date for a job fair. I think everyone knows that we're at over 20% for unemployment here in Michigan City. The tentative job date for the virtual job fair is June 25th. Don't have a whole lot of information yet for that, but as soon as we get it, we'll start pushing that out to everyone. That's one of their priorities right now, is trying to assist those that have lost their employment. So that's what they're working on right now. That was one of their biggest commitments, is the job loss that has occurred here locally. So there's several projects. The last thing that I'll bring up is tax abatement compliance is underway and will be brought to the city council in the next 60 days. So just a few things that are going on with the EDC and specifically around the unemployment piece of COVID-19. So that's all I got.
Councilwoman Jigas.
Thank you. First of all, I was a member of some very active commissions, and they keep asking me, when are the commissions going to be meeting again? So does anybody have some advisement, even via Zoom? They would like to get things going. I think they're an important part of our city workings, and so I would like to get an answer. I'm not even sure who is going to make that decision, but can we think about reinstating them or having a date where they can start meeting at, with distancing or with Zoom? So that's my concern. I don't know if anybody can answer that.
I know per the governor's order, we were only supposed to be conducting essential business during this time. I don't know how far or what the timetable is when things like that can start back. I don't know if either Attorney Meyer or Mayor Perry could kind of, or maybe both could weigh in on that. Jim, do you have from what the governor's order is?
The quote essential business unquote references whatever the business is of the entity that you're talking about.
Okay.
So essential business for the Commission for African American Males is going to be different than essential business for another committee. Other than the COVID executive order requirements and the mayor's executive orders, that they limit how many people can visit where or whether the city hall is closed or shut. There's no rule or law as to requiring people not to meet. These commissions can meet whenever they and however they like. As long as they're not violating, too many people in one spot and keeping their physical distance and, the requirements for it.
Okay. So I think there were some different things that Mayor Perry had put in place to govern over that at our level. So, Mr. Mayor, do you have some information for this?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. My last executive order has expired. I have no issues with boards and commissions going back to meetings, other than that the meetings have to be conducted virtually like you're doing right now. Several of the boards are not meeting because they don't want to meet virtually. I agree with everyone that we need to get meetings back in place to conduct business and start to move back toward business as normal, or as the new normal will be. But I have no restrictions on virtual meetings at this time. The only problem is having public comment is difficult on virtual meetings. So accommodations would have to be made for questions and comments to be sent in either in advance on email or telephone text messages so that the public would have their input. That's it. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. I got one more thing to add, if you don't mind.
Sure.
I'd like to commend Police Chief Deon Campbell for his skillful handling of several volatile situations this week. The escalating violence towards people of color is horrifying and unacceptable. I can never truly understand the challenges and threats faced daily by Black people. It's up to white people and people in positions of authority to educate ourselves about racism and injustice that occurs every day. So I hope to work with my fellow council members to work on some steps to improve the situation. So please include me. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Mack.
Okay, I don't want to be redundant on any of this because we all I'm pretty proud of the way we handled a lot of things this weekend and the way everything played out. Kudos to Chief Campbell. I really just wanted to focus on that meeting at Oak Hills Park that I was at. They put down the guns rally. Quite a few of us were at that. And talent level I saw with those youngsters, I mean, it really made me feel old because if all of their aunts and uncles and grandparents were there, I'd probably know everybody. But those kids were very talented. Their ideas were very intelligent. They were just so much potential in that park, expressing a lot of pain, the effort it took. They had some really good food. Somebody did a really good job with that. And I'm just looking forward personally to working with some of those youngsters and meeting them and getting some of their ideas introduced, developed, and working with them, because that's where change in my lifetime, in my generation, the change has always came from the youngsters. When I was in college, we were pushing for the South Africa Mandela deal back in the JFK era and everything. It was the youngsters, the college age, and the New Orleans. And I saw that coming. I could just see a vision of Michigan City being moved forward by that group of people right there. That was some serious passion. So I thank you guys, and I'm looking forward to introducing myself, meeting all of you, and working to put some of that stuff into reality. That's it.
Thank you, Councilman. Any other council comments?
Mr. President?
Councilman Don Prespolinski.
Yeah, a couple of things that I'd like to comment on, and I know that Councilman Simmons and Councilwoman Deutsch have already commented on it, but I'm going to talk to the mayor, if we can put this on our city website, and that's that Back on Track Indiana program that the governor just came out with the approved $30 million in federal funding for small businesses. And just to touch on the eligibility requirements, and there's not a lot of them. Of course, you must be registered to operate in Indiana. You have to have 50 employees or less. Business must have had less than $5 million in revenue in 2019. Business must have been profitable in 2019. So they're just not taking any business. Businesses must demonstrate a monthly revenue loss of at least 40% compared to pre-COVID-19 revenues. And the businesses must not have used funding from the Paycheck Protection Plan, Economic Injury Disaster Loan, or the Community Development Block Grant. And it says small businesses that meet the eligibility requirements can be awarded up to $2,500 or up to $5,000 for each month in which the business demonstrates a revenue loss of at least 40% or of at least 80% respectively, with grants issued up to $10,000 per company. of the 30 million allocated to the fund, at least 5 million will be reserved for certified minority and women-owned businesses. So I think this is very informative and can be a great asset to the community of Michigan City. So I'm going to ask the mayor if it's okay if we get that on our website to help out some of these small businesses. And also, I know that the councilwoman pulled her or tabled it, the ordinance tonight for the funding, $200,000 funding for the small businesses. And, you know, and I talked to Sherry Wilson today about this community, this federal funding grant from HUD under the COVID-19 program. And my whole objection to this program was we were going to use Michigan City, you know, our budgetary funding. And I'm still against that. And according to Sherry, she's saying that the city's been allocated $390,000 that can be decided between the city and not-for-profits. There's money. She said that can be used for distribution for small businesses. You know, she's waiting for information. But anyway, what my point is there is money there. The way I understand it, there is money there. And we don't have to take it out of our city funds because we have federal funding that's sitting there waiting for us. So I wanted to bring that up. She did say that she was putting an amendment together, and she's going to give it to the mayor, and that's for this COVID-19 program that she has to file. So I wanted to pass, you know, that information on to the council where we stand with that, and also with that program. And the reason, you know, and I said it at the last meeting, I'm not going to get into it in depth, that, you know, I'm concerned about the finances going forward. Yeah, we got our tax straw, but our tax straw is at 44% compared to 51% a year ago at this time. So we're behind the 8 ball there, and we're certainly behind the 8 ball with $93,000 in a riverboat fund. And if anyone doesn't agree with me on that, then, you know, I don't know if, you know, what their position is on financing, but that's not very good. So that's why I'm opposed to using that money from our account, use it from the federal money that's sitting there. I guess my theory is we can't print money. The federal government can print money and make all the money they want. We have to run by state law on a balanced budget. With that being said, moving on, I'd just like to comment on the situation in Minneapolis and what took place there and the demonstration that we had in Michigan City. And I actually have a written statement. In addition to what is going on in our nation in regards to the death of George Floyd at the hands of the Minneapolis Police Department, I would like to discuss what I have observed thus far in Michigan City. I attended a portion of this past Sunday's demonstration at the Michigan City Police Headquarters. My son and I participated in the march from the police station down Michigan Boulevard to Carroll Ave and back to the police station. My son is 28 years old, and I understand exactly what his frustrations and his opinion, and I value his opinion. We left around 7:30 p.m., and what I observed was truly inspiring. People of all ages, races, backgrounds, all came together peacefully to voice their concerns for some of the injustices that our nation is experiencing and possibly could have experienced personally. I believe this was a great step forward to making Michigan City a more inclusive and socially just community. I thank Police Chief Dion Campbell and the entire Michigan City Police Department and surrounding community police agencies that assisted for their professionalism and tact during the peaceful demonstration. Finally, in striving to make Michigan City more inclusive, I want to encourage everyone, regardless of age, gender, religion, or background, to become more actively involved in your community and in your government. If you want to make change, do it at the ballot box. Register to vote and encourage others who haven't yet done so. Become a precinct committee person, attend city council meetings, or contact your council person to express your concerns and how you can get involved. Let's build our future together, and we are Michigan City strong. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman. One thing I wanted to tack onto that, I know Miss Sherry Wilson was invited to the workshop. Her name was showing up, but she didn't weigh in on anything. So maybe she could have addressed some of those things that she spoke with you to the rest of us at the workshop had she been able to communicate. Councilman Dabney. You muted.
I said something really important while I was muted. Anyway, but when I was speaking before, I didn't get a chance to add on this. Just kind of going off the top of my head as the ideas were coming to me. That Saturday, when they had the picnic out in Lakeland in regards to put down the guns and everybody, we had some council members that attended that, and that was done in the afternoon. That in daylight. So the people came out and, they got what they needed to get done during the day. And then everybody dispersed and it was on, everybody moved on to finish out their day. Really productive conversations that were happening out there. I had a notebook with me. We were taking some notes and getting some really good ideas of things moving forward. And then later on in the evening, we had the march and it started at 6:00. Immediately when I saw 6:00, I was worried because it was going to bleed into the nighttime. And as we all know, more things happen, more bad things happen at night than they do during the day. So I was concerned right away when I saw 6:00. And as we all know, we saw how the night ended up with people down at the Lighthouse Mall, where Chief Dion Campbell, spoke to the crowd and did a fantastic job down there. But my concern, I guess I'm kind of a plea to the people of Michigan City. If you want to have some type of march, rally, things like that, I would hope, just for the safety sake of the people here in Michigan City, of our police officers and anybody else, businesses, and that because there were some businesses along Michigan Boulevard, places like that, that had doors and windows broken out that happened. I would love to see those happen during the day. So everybody comes and that whole march, everything was peaceful all the way through the daylight. And then as it, dark came, people moved on down to the Lighthouse Mall. And we had a couple of incidents happen. And then, of course, we were on alert all over the weekend with our police having to assemble all over the city to try to make sure, certain things didn't happen. So, just kind of a plea to the people here to try to get these things done during the day. Your message will still be out there. Your message will still be heard because, I just feel like it could be more productive. You get that daytime where people come and then, everybody gets together and does the protest or whatever they may be doing. And then, to finish out the day. So that's just something I wanted to add on to that because I was really concerned. Like I said, once I saw 6:00, I knew it would bleed into the night.
Thank you, Councilman. Any other council comments? Councilman Paul Presbolinski.
I wanted to also comment that I was watching this thing on Facebook, and I just want to say I want to thank the police department for their professionalism and all the outlying police officers that were on call ready, and also to the police chief Campbell, that I got to listen in on some of this conversation, and one individual that was really agitating them, I got to say he practiced a lot of self-control, and I think that they all need to be thankful, and that it was regrettable, like Councilman Dabney alluded, in that there was some vandalism and there was some looting, and I think that that's an unfortunate thing that goes on, because it blinds the message that you're trying to put out there. So I thank you for letting me make those comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Any other council comments?
Mr. President, Don Perbolinski, one last comment. And this is going back to the finances of the city. And I think and I've talked to the mayor already about it, and what the council needs to start doing, the city planner needs to start doing, and the mayor needs to start doing, is we need to sit down and start wrapping our arms around the double track project and what the associated costs are going to be to this project moving forward. There are costs that are going to be associated to this that the city's going to have to pay for in the realm of millions of dollars. You know, the parking garage, these turnabouts, what have you. We need to start planning on that this budget cycle, not the next budget cycle, because this project is only 2 years down the road. And I think when we had the last meeting with Nick D, it was 2.5 years down the road. Well, you know, we're 6 months gone already. We've been tied up with these other issues that are happening in the United States and in the world. So we need to start moving forward. You know, if we got the NICD committee or what have you, we need to start discussing these issues and start finding out what's going on with our monies for this double track. I just want to get everybody's, just bring the awareness to that and try to stay focused on that. And we can't, we'll wait till next November and we'll start worrying about it then. Well, we can't wait till next November. We're going to start having to worry about it during this budget cycle so we can start preparing for it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Any other council comments? Mayor Perry, did you have anything you wanted to add?
Yes, I would, Mr. President. Thank you. In reference to what happened last weekend, Sunday night, I've been told that there were a few comments on social media. Where was the mayor? Well, I want the council to know and the public that the mayor was there. In my biweekly conference call with several of the ministers, I was invited to attend the picnic Sunday afternoon. And after the call, the 5 gentlemen that organized the event decided that it was not in the best interest that I be there. So I responded that whatever you want is what I want. I will be anywhere, anytime that I'm wanted to be there. As it moved into Sunday night, I was at our police station from 3:30 on until the end of the event. I did not go out and stand with the chief as he addressed the crowd because I felt that could be counterproductive. The assembly was about police action and law and order. And I felt that my presence might reduce the effectiveness of the chief. But what I did Sunday night, Monday night, and again last night, I prepared executive orders to assist the police in clearing any area that they needed cleared. So yes, I was there. I support our police department. I recognize the right of the public to assemble, and I understand their reason for assembling, and I support that assembly. That is necessary that we have assembly and free speech. So I think I salute our police department. Chief Campbell really did his job Sunday night. And our police department continued on. They were on the ready Monday night and Tuesday night because we had some information that the out-of-towners may be coming back first Monday and then last night to do the damage that they weren't able to do Sunday night. And we were all ready. We were all at the wait. I had executive orders ready on every half an hour when something erupted to restore order by clearing the area. So I just want you all to know, as well as the public, that yes, I was there. I was there Sunday night till about 11:30 at the police station, Monday night till a little after 9, and I was there last night with the final few orders to support the police in anything that they needed to do. Thank you for allowing me to make that comment.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And just in closing, I kind of want to echo what everyone else said. I think that what happened, in Minnesota was definitely unconscionable, and we need to move forward from things like that being still issues in 2020. Also, appreciate everyone coming out to protest peacefully, but the ones that are looking to turn it up a notch and take it to the point where you're just destroying things just for the sake of destroying things. If you have a party at your house and some rowdy people come, you kick them out. You don't allow them to tear your house up and set your own house on fire with them. So don't be fooled by people coming over here with the intent on just destroying something and being opportunists because something tragic happened. We still have to live here. We still have to build this community, and it's a lot harder to build when we have to start from scratch all over again. So I just wanted to put that out there, and I do believe that Chief Campbell did an exemplary job of maintaining the order. He's a giant already. He's probably 6'6" and maybe 300 pounds, and I still believe that that body isn't big enough to contain the type of spirit that's in that man, and was able to walk in that crowd by himself and engage people, listen to their frustrations, and neutralize that situation. That's something that is not within the toolbox of most people. And I think he was the right person to be the chief of police at this time. And I do believe that he was one of the star of that day. A lot of things positive happened that day, but I do think that was probably one of the more noteworthy ones. So with that being said, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Nobody made a motion.
Moved.
So moved by, we have a motion by Councilwoman Mike and a second by Councilman Paul President to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Hey.